Hello beautiful people, welcome to the Dialogue Duet, where we come in handy to bring you the best and exclusive interviews globally. I am your lovely host Sylvie Achacha. Now, my duet today is a beautiful 23-year-old young entrepreneur who is not only evolving in the digital space as a digital marketer, but has also founded her own digital skills and marketing institute named the Evolving Digitally. So she's here with me to discuss more of this, and thank you once again for tuning in. Welcome, Sylvia.
Thank you.
How are you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm fine. You're looking good.
Thank you. You too.
So kindly tell us about yourself. Tell us who you are and what you do for a living.
My name is Sylvia Jemutai. I am a digital marketer, a search engine optimization specialist specifically. But on the side, I run a company called Evolving Digitally. This is a digital skills education platform where we are envisioning a future where every Kenyan has the space to create, innovate, and collaborate without any geographical limits to employment. We are looking also to work with the underprivileged in the society to rebuild their confidence, reduce stigma in the society, and help people probably see the world differently as a place full of opportunities. So that means moving our society from a scarcity mindset to an abundance mindset.
Yeah. Wow, what's quite an introduction there to start at all. So anyway, let's start from why digital marketing for you? Why did you decide to pursue digital marketing, or maybe if there's any other thing that you pursued apart from digital marketing?
Before getting into digital marketing, I was new to tech and the tech space and everything. So I was just like exploring what could work for me, because I knew accounting, like there's a time I knew in accounting school this wasn't going to be working in the long run. So I needed something to fight poverty for the most honest reasons. And then also I needed something that I felt like gave me life, because I felt like accounting always drained me. So I felt like I needed to really transition into something that gave me life. And after trial and error, I even did kitchen and bathroom design. I think I can design kitchen and bathrooms. I never practiced it, but I trialed and errors other simple courses. I didn't invest much, but digital marketing seemed to be the space where I felt like I wasn't limited. And there was no monotony. Things were evolving every day. I needed to know something new. I needed to be on top of the game. So I felt like, yeah, this is the place I want to be.
That's nice. So there's a big twist in your career, and that is you starting your own digital and marketing skills company. Tell us a little bit about that. How? Why did you just flip and just go and start a company, and how is it going for you now?
You know, you're in accounting school, your lecturer comes in one day and he's like, do you know that you are going to apply for the same jobs I'm going to be applying for? And guess what? You only come out with a diploma. I have masters and years of experience. The next day you see apps, softwares that are replacing you. Now accounting doesn't seem to have any future. So I was like, I really want a good future for myself. I love nice things. And if I'm being replaced by apps, I can't be crying here. I need to find a solution. And that's when I transitioned. And for me also, coming from, and I wouldn't say underprivileged society, but a society that has not been exposed, getting to see digital marketing work for me. One day I started and I was like, one of my friends is probably having their parents sell land or an asset like a cow for them to be educated in school. And then there'll be no jobs for them. And then that's when it clicked. What I have just built could be a solution to the society, to the people in the society who do not have much access to resources. And that's when I just started building. So I started pumping content on LinkedIn, sharing my point of views. And I can really tell you the first day of Evolving Digitally and now what Evolving Digitally was even at the beginning of this year and now, two totally different things. If we had a conversation at the beginning of the year, and we have a conversation right now, you wouldn't believe the transitioning 6 months 3 months can have in your life, especially if you have a growth mindset. Because for me, it's an evolving company. I'm talking about evolving. I started out, yes, as a digital marketing institute, but over time I realized I need to also evolve. I can't be teaching this and doing the opposite. So for me, I can't really tell you what we will be down the line, a year down the line, but I can tell you like we will evolve into a solution in the society.
The company, the word like starting a company seems a pretty big deal. Capital, in terms of capital, can you just break it down to like how it became and formed? Because I know there are a lot of people outside here who might be really encouraged by your story of starting their own digital institute.
I'm tempted to say ni God maze, but I want to say when things seem like I really need to put the point out that sometimes some parts of your life are working out, others are not. I've pumped out a lot of information personally to my life as a person running a company, and there are parts of my life that lack, so I need to point out that aspect. It's where you put your energy that you see it coming out back, and I have invested heavily. In terms of capital, if you're starting a company because you want to be rich, there are chances of you not making it are very low. You need to be a problem. What motivates me is there's somebody right now in a toxic marriage who needs saving but can't save herself because of economic dependency. She needs the light at the end of the tunnel that you could be these many things without having to move to Nairobi and start a new life and have these expensive things. So I think the first thing to start a company is your why. If you are there because you could acquire millions, if your motivation is money, trust me, your first year of building a company, you might not see any money. And trust me, like you will leave it because your goal was money. But my goal was never money. My goal was to see the community like experiencing better. So I worked with what I had. That's why like I prioritize collaboration over competition. When I start a program at the beginning of the year, I was seated in the house and I'm like, what is my company solving this year? What impactful thing am I putting to the table this year? And I sat and I'm like, I have nothing, I have no money. The only money I have is to finance my life. I cannot finance a company. I sat, I came up with a program and I was like, who are the most strategic people for my program to be executed, for my program to reach the right people? That's when I woke up one Tuesday and I went to Youth Enterprise Fund. Hi, this is what I bring to the table, this is what I need. Can you help or can you not? That's how I onboarded them as a partner. Luckily through networking, something I'll emphasize through this interview. A year ago, I paid for a networking event that was expensive. I couldn't even afford my Uber there, but I had paid for the ticket. Through that partnership, I didn't know this lady. This lady I met is Frida Winger. Frida Winger is a powerhouse across Africa. I met Frida, we had a chat, I took her number and I was like, she's too rich and probably too busy to be viewing my stories. And one day, a year later, she's like, Sylvia, I've been viewing your progress and I'd love to work with you. Immediately she said that I was ready. It's like opportunity meets the people who are ready. I was ready, it's just that I thought she was out of my reach. Immediately she said that I proposed to her, I have a company, I have a program and this is what is happening. I need help, I need a paid Zoom. I can't pay for that as a company right now. You realize I haven't been given something monetary, but I've been given resources to execute. And with the time, you're able to now show evidence to people who can give you resources. So I think it's what drives you to building a company that sustains you to being a company owner, because it's like the second year of being a registered company and it never gets easy, you just get tougher. I think I would say that. Yeah.
Yeah, that's true. So I know some of us are watching us and they deeply want to understand what digital marketing entails. Like, can you just break it a summary on what is digital marketing? Why should I want to know digital marketing?
I think digital marketing is preached a lot for how it could change businesses. That's what is pumped out a lot out there, and that's true. Digital marketing is a space where now you get to expose your increase your visibility, and that is not just like geographically, anyone and everyone can see you in the world. But I think as somebody running a digital skills organization, I would say digital marketing is your chance to position yourself, either as a brand, either as an individual. Like personally, I've been able to position myself to be visible to people across the world in terms of job search. As a business, you can not only acquire clients, but position yourself as a business to acquire funding, to acquire grants, not just like to close business deals. I think personally as a digital marketer, I've worked with businesses, but the direction I'm taking as an educator in the digital space, it's more like, Sylvie, you can use LinkedIn to pump yourself as the person you are today and land tomorrow a TED Talk somewhere because of what you are showing and what you are doing. That TED Talk didn't need you to know somebody at the top of government for this to open. So when I think when my light opened that I do not need my aunts and uncles in government to open doors for me. I just need to position myself. That's when digital marketing sinks deeper. Like use it as a tool for you to access the right people. And people succumb into having 100,000 followers. I have 1,800 followers. I just hit 1,000 followers on LinkedIn 2 days ago. But these little followers are very strategic followers. Like on LinkedIn, I'm confident. The kind of people seeing me, like that one, like if there's something I'm happy about this year is I've been able to position my LinkedIn all ever since I created this account. And it's not just people like me who are trying to work it out in life who are viewing me. 80% of the people who are viewing me on my LinkedIn are established people with businesses looking to partner, either non-profit organizations looking to work with people, HRs looking to hire people globally. I have curated the people who view me on LinkedIn, and that is like how you use digital marketing to be seen. Yeah, like there's, I would say my highlight maybe of the year is yesterday before I went to bed, I was like, you know Kenyan Wall Street, right? I was like, I want to work with Kenyan Wall Street. Through my connections, I've been able to have the CEO of Kenyan Wall Street within my contact. So I knew he follows me on LinkedIn and he follows me on Instagram. And every time I reply to his stories, he views them. I'm like, there's very high chances this guy is gonna see my message on LinkedIn, on Instagram. Imagine I shoot my shot, 2 minutes later he responded to my message, and I scheduled a meeting for next week. And I was just seated there looking at the possibilities life can have for me. So I think it's boldness and then positioning, having the right people in your circle, and then being a solution-oriented person. That is when you can take advantage of digital marketing. But now getting into digital marketing as a business, this is also a chance for you to speak to your audience. What is the story you've shaped on the digital space? What's your reputation as a business? If I go online and I'm looking for something specific, like this dress has built its reputation. If I go to the page and I get to buy it, what does the page show itself? Maybe I can trust you, but I go to the page and it's disorganized. The comments are not being responded. I might not buy. But with a very well-structured platform that you understand your customer avatar and your target audience, that is when you get to take advantage of digital marketing. Yeah.
Wow, that's pretty educative right there.
Yeah.
So, I did my research, and actually, you were enrolled in school for accounting. And that means basically, did you go and study digital marketing, or it was just an inbuilt thing? Or
I'm self-taught.
Pardon?
I'm self-taught.
Self-taught?
Yeah.
So digital marketing is some skill you can just gain from...
Yeah, you don't need to go to school to learn digital marketing. There are a ton of free courses on the digital space. We have Coursera, you can pay $59 instead of paying $15,000 for school fees. Like $59 is like $6,000. Every month, and you don't have to pay it for the whole entire year. You can pay it for 3 months straight, and that is your school fees for you to get the legal. I'm doing right now a course with the University of California in search engine optimization for Coursera. I learned through my first course that landed me a job was the free, let me emphasize on the free Google Skillshop course on digital marketing called Fundamentals of Digital Marketing. It's recognized in the world. You can work pro bono to acquire clients. You can use LinkedIn to acquire. You can use LinkedIn to acquire internships, to have access to work with teams across the world. You don't like. I didn't go to school to digital marketing. I've used the digital space to teach myself.
Wow, that's nice. That's pretty nice. So, digital marketing is like a big space. I think you have a niche somewhere.
Yeah.
Can you just tell us what's your niche in the digital marketing space, and maybe how it's going about?
I was extroverted a bit when I was starting this career. Coming down to it, I'm only extroverted in business spaces. So over time I realized I'm not really excited about like responding to comments on social media. So I've niched down as a search engine optimization specialist. So it's me and my computer and data, and I think also that aligns with my background in accounting, which had a lot to do with numbers. So at least with SEO, it's about optimization, tracking numbers, tracking progress of stuff. And that's why like I'm interested in blog-based organizations, content-based organizations, because like I get to do that hands-on. So SEO is majorly what do people search for on this digital space when looking for you as a business. So, and using those keywords to put on your business in terms of creating content, understanding what are the pain points of your people, but not just from a question perspective, but from a data perspective, where we've gone to the internet, we've assessed the internet, and we can see 2,000 people search for red dresses when they're looking for this. 3,000 people search for this and this and this and this. So by being able to analyze that through SEO, we create content that's when bots of Google crawl, it's like you are an authority site to be trusted on the digital space. So that's majorly SEO. I enjoy it because it's like planning human behavior on a daily. I enjoy it because less interaction with people, and it's like one of the paying spaces in digital marketing.
So can you just tell me about the digital marketing tools that you use in your career?
Majorly with SEO, I use a site called Hrefs. I don't know if I'm pronouncing that right.
Hrefs.
Hrefs.
Okay.
There's Moz SEO. There's SEMrush, which is also an academy offering free and paid courses on digital marketing. When it comes to digital space, I would advise people like Meta Business Suite is a free space, a free tool to start with. You don't have to pay. But then there is Metricool. Metricool is a paid software for social media management. That's what I basically use. Google Console, if you have a site, you have access to your Google Console, which is also a good platform to like get to know like insights around what people search for when trying to find you.
Okay, so I really want to know, how can you make content go viral? Because I think that is also upon a digital marketer to make sure a content for a specific brand or some commodity or a product go viral. How do you do that?
Viral, I don't know viral, but maybe reaching the right audience. I would say like, as a digital marketer, sometimes I see a viral video, but it doesn't have a call to action. So this video has views, a ton of engagement, but it's leading nowhere for nothing to be purchased. So the virality of that content isn't really meaningful.
So that's not...
Yeah, I would say the target of a business is not really to go viral. Going viral would be good when you have a strategy to take advantage of the virality, but I would say it's reaching the right target audience. For you to reach a larger, or maybe what we call now viral, that means you clearly understand the problem, the target of your content. So if you're creating a meme, what is the role of a meme? Because you see, meme marketing is a thing. I'm also like, I have a keen interest in meme marketing personally. I haven't practiced it well, but I'm working on a pro bono business of mine to run on meme marketing. So you really have to pay attention. Okay, I've lost my train of thought.
It's okay. So let's say I have shoes. Let's say I have shoes and I want to make sales. Can you just pitch me your idea? Like how will you make me be relevant in this?
I'll create very relatable TikToks around shoes. If it's like, you see those moments when your heel is hurting you here, I can create like videos around that. I wouldn't necessarily be sharing shoes, but I would be sharing relatable moments around wearing shoes. That's what I would really do if I'm trying to sell shoes, especially on TikTok. That would work really well. If I'm on Pinterest, and I'm selling shoes, I would share content around taking care of my shoes. Like, yes, the relatable ones for TikTok would work, but I think more educative content around taking care of my shoes, things I can do, things I can use to make myself comfortable around shoes work well on Pinterest. So I'd come up with a strategy for every platform and something relatable for every platform.
Yeah, all the lately brands and companies, businesses have been adapting digital marketing instead of offline marketing.
Yeah.
Why is that so? Is it that quite impactful that it can withdraw?
How many times do you leave your phone unattended? Barely, right?
Yeah.
How many times do you leave your phone unattended? Barely. That's the whole point. You're on your phone, and we marketers want to find you where you are. You are not seated somewhere in Taptengele waiting for us to like bring the products through the radio. You are on your phone all the time looking for something. So we try to find you those places you are on your phone. So now by appearing on a Google ad when you share something, appearing on a YouTube ad when you're trying to watch a video of your interest, appearing on a TikTok ad, going live and stuff like that, because we know that's where you are.
let's get to the pros and cons, because I believe everything in life has its pros and cons. So just tell me a bit about this digital, as a digital marketer, what's the pros and the
pros?
Yeah.
I'd say the biggest pro is you can compete with Bamburi Cement if you're just a small cement company right now. By pumping out content, you have a chance to feature influencers at very affordable prices. When you compare it to Kitambo, when you only have access to TV and you have to buy a section of the TV advert where it's so expensive, that's one pro. You now can directly communicate with your market. It doesn't have to take a client to walk to your office, walk to your space. A client in Dubai is able to buy a car for his mom here. So those are the pros. The cons, the exposure the kids are getting to. People are marketing or pumping out things that could not be good. Counterfeit goods are much more accessible and sold. That is not also good for the climate and the environment, which you see Africans, we are suffering a lot on the climate issue. The other cons are when you get a bad reputation, it's easy to virally go bad for a reputation. The cons could be if you have a brand that you've curated for something specific. I don't know, okay, this is the worst example. I don't want to be associated with that. Let me think of some other example. There are people, if you search on the internet, the first blogs that come up are negative things about their lives. You don't want to work with them. There are people who've built brands and then they get associated with, you can always see influencers. Influencers can make sales, appears on billboards, and then this one time she makes, or he makes this one mistake of being associating themselves with another brand that is not good for their image, and sales go down. So that is the other disadvantage. You never know, you never really know that moment when it will turn on you or something. Yeah, but I think with where we are heading, we are heading in the digital space. So personally, as a person, you need to take care of yourself, curate a good feed for yourself, because it's up to you to, whoever you follow, no one held a gun on your head to follow them. The kind of toxic information you're accessing on social media, it's you who's given permission to yourself to access such things. So you have to work on making sure the digital space works for you, not against you.
So let's talk about YouTube. I've been dying to talk about YouTube. YouTube is everywhere. Everybody has a YouTube channel. Shows are being aired on YouTube. It's an online TV basically. So what are technically the best practices to rank videos on YouTube? Because I believe this has to be a pattern for you to succeed.
SEO. I would say SEO. Personally, I have a YouTube channel that is not pumping out a lot of content, but I am opening a YouTube channel passionately because I want to talk about these conversations on screen. But the second reason is I want to try out an SEO strategy for the next 4 months. So I kind of have a ton of YouTube videos I've recorded and not edited, but I want to post them within not a very different time span and focusing on using the right keywords, SEO. So I'd say, like, I really believe SEO is big because YouTube is more like a search engine. So when you post and then you've just written a caption from your heart, it doesn't work like that. You need to write a caption from your heart, but for the search engine. Like, that is the whole point of SEO. You write content from your heart expressing something, but if Google doesn't understand this content, it will not rank. So you need to tune it for the search engine. So that is what, when you're writing captions anywhere on social media, pour your heart out to ChatGPT and try to recreate that thing into something like a bit more working for the search engines. So YouTube is like the quality of your content, the keywords of your captions. Don't just it's called the titles. Don't just put titles. Like, the titles should relate to the video, but the keywords play a big part in you getting found. So that's one thing I would say for TikTok. But the next time we have a conversation, I'll have very solid strategies. I'll tell you how my SEO is performing. And there's also a friend of mine, we are working on them. They are doing museums. They're trying to record history. You know, we are growing. Sadly, grandparents and parents keep going. So one moment we wake up and no one can tell the stories of Africa. No one can tell the stories. So we are optimizing this YouTube channel so that we can store the history of Africa, the history of Kenya, by telling the story behind very many things that I don't know yet about. I learned some of them when I get to meet him, but we'll see.
We're looking forward to it. And I really like the passion. And what motivates you? Because, yeah, it's a lot of work, I can say.
Poverty.
Poverty. Poverty is the big moment.
motivates me.
Why do you feel like digital marketing will create the breakthrough for you? Huh?
Because
Why?
it's an ever-evolving space. Like it's never the same. Things are changing. You need to adapt. That's one. What motivates me is, you know, when you learn that sometimes you have more access and more privilege than some people, and you want to make things better for them. So I think that's something very deep in my heart. Like the Mother Teresa aspect on me when it comes to that is very huge. I can make millions, but if I don't see how that millions impact people, I'll just be miserable. Like in moments where I feel like, hey, no one has learned from me, no one has taken something from me or valued their life, I just feel like, why are we alive even? So the aspect of impacting somebody positively, sometimes negatively, making them question themselves and other things.
Impacting somebody negatively.
Positively.
Yes.
Sometimes somebody impacts you negatively, hadi unakaa chini hata na wewe unajiuliza maswali, you decide to level up. So there are people who've been impacted me negatively. I decided to level up, but majorly because the youth hold the power of Africa, and I know I'm part of the big cake, so I want to do my job.
You actually said evolving digitally it's an ever-evolving space. So what are the tactics you use like to keep up to date in the latest marketing trends and techniques so that you up your game every single time these new things come?
Having real conversations with young mothers, having real conversations with teen pregnant people, having real conversations with just like business owners, having real conversations with older people. As an older person, how does it feel to be in a home full of Gen Zs? How are you adapting? Do you want to quit your job and build a digital career? What's the logistics around that? So I think networking and knowing your stuff by upskilling.
You are young. I believe you have been surrounded by a lot of older people than you. Have you ever received such negative criticism? People telling you, like, I see you speak publicly in front of people. Do you have like
A lot.
anxiety doing that? Criticism, negativity, opinions? How do you take them all in?
I think I've been through that a lot. I have really been through a lot of bad conversations going on around, a lot of bringing me down conversations or things that would make me feel bad. But there is the day I was part of Eldoret Innovation Week. Eldoret Innovation Week was not really a paying thing, but it was like going to interact with youth. I was invited by the Uasin Gishu County. Not I was invited, I applied and I was selected as a speaker. And I was like, what? I did not expect me to be selected. So selected as a speaker, it dawned to me this was going to be the biggest congregation I'll ever address in my life. Gladfully, a mentor of mine was there. So I spoke the first round. I couldn't. And my mentor gave me the pep talk of my life that I ever overcame public speaking to date. So no matter, like, you see, like there's a lot of noise. I think there's a level you get to where you close out the noise. So as you are speaking, you're just speaking, you're sharing your opinions, whatever anyone thinks, especially none of your business. So I think I've reached to that level where if it's not constructive criticism, if you're coming to judge what I do, not tell me how I could do better or what I could remove from the situation, then you don't matter. So that's where I've reached. It's like I only listen to people that matter. The rest are just like noise.
Yeah, you've just grown to understand yourself really well.
I categorize noise and actual people.
That's nice. So how many years have you been in the digital marketing space actually?
This is my 4th year.
In 4 years, I can tell that you have some accomplishments. Can you just tell us a little bit one of the biggest accomplishments so far you've made here that you are really proud of and you're looking up to it? You can proudly say that, yes, I did this.
This collaboration I'm doing with Youth Fund and SME Founders Association. Since when did I become a partnership coordinator? You know, I sit every time and I was like, what magic did I say to these people that I think that's my biggest accomplishment. I've been able to train 1,500 youth in a span of 3 months. Yeah, so
impressive.
And having Youth Fund publish that information to their stakeholders is like a big achievement. Having Frida of Winga like as my mentor, like that, like I will introduce you to. I really do not mind introducing you to Frida Winga. You should interview her. Frida Winga is a powerhouse. being in her presence for me is an accomplishment. Like her just seated there and me doing my business in an event, even I'm like,
You met her in the middle of your career?
Yeah, I paid for a networking event and I met her and we talked, we exchanged numbers. I keep learning a lot about her and I'm shocked every time. I'm like, what, she's done this and this and this and this. Yeah, she's somebody I admire a lot. And somebody I like, her impact is on me. Like she can today say her legacy has lived and impacted people like me. So I envision to channel the same energy that she channels. So for me to be living in a time where I get to experience her energy, for me is an accomplishment. Working with a member of parliament, like the other day I was just from Nandi County, knowing no one in this city, with just like me and God, and I get to position myself to the point I'm seen by these people and approached, and you get to impact people of those communities. The people of those communities can testify. So that is an accomplishment for me. And the other accomplishment is working with international clients. Like, I didn't think that was possible. When I was doing this, I was just like, yeah, it's me and God, and I believe this big God can do big things. So I think it's faith, like my faith in some of the things. It's like there are things I have too much faith in. Like there are things I do with too much faith that some people think I'm crazy. But yeah, I think like taking that leap of faith and be like, you know what, I'm gonna hack this international career thing, and going out as a self-taught person, I'm like, I don't have a degree. I don't have any like what would be needed really here in Kenya. But you know what, I'm gonna hack this. So I think being bold like that and then having it come to life was like unlocking levels of confidence in me, and to the point where I'm here today, and it's been like I do one thing, it unlocks a level of confidence. I'm more confident. The next time you tell me today, if I have 3 minutes with the president, I'm getting what I want.
That's nice.
Yeah.
Let's discuss the failures. In these 4 years, I also know that there's some worst experiences you've had. Can you just talk a little bit of an experience maybe you've had of a campaign gone wrong, or a partnership deal not being dealing, and how you got up to it? Since you are your CEO, you are not an employed madam, so I wonder how that is for you.
Speaking of failures, I think there are more deeper failures, like okay, I wouldn't call this a failure, but a work in progress that isn't working. Is the aspect that focusing so much on work, I have gotten to neglect my social life, which is I'm working hard for in 2023. I see it as a failure sometimes, but not the kind that puts me down, but the kind that I know, you know what, Sylvia, you're failing at this and you need to do better. So what I tell myself is like, yeah, my social life is really like something that I am not proud of and would need to work on, and thanks to my career that looks like it's thriving. It is thriving, and I needed to focus on one thing, and when things work out and I have much more free time and I can invest in those other things. I've had failed partnerships. I've had a client I've worked with for 2 months. I was a virtual assistant for a CEO in New York. I quit myself the job. I was like, I can't do this. I was broke, but I really couldn't do it because of the company culture. I think that is also sometimes you can face racism or bad company culture, and sometimes you need to know when to leave. So those are the challenges also you can face on the digital space. What are the challenges? The challenge of convincing an African household that you can tap your laptop and make money.
Yeah, it's tough. You can't just
I've not even solved it to death. It's still a mystery.
How do you do that though?
I just say, I don't know. I just say I'm gonna do this, and as a Gen Z, I do what I said I'm gonna do.
You risk it.
I think that's what I do. Like I do not take time to listen to a lot of opinions. Like I run before the opinions cloud me or cloud my judgment, because a lot of the opinions are out of fear, not hate, but fear. So I notice that it's fear sometimes, and I run away before it cripples me, and I make my decisions and act as soon as possible. By the time it's like they want to reconsider, I'm so far away from the day I said, they can't even turn me back. So I think you have to walk the talk, because you can't just say and sit. They'll overrule you. So if you say you're gonna do this, please execute. Like, it's fail forward and fail fast.
How is it getting good as a digital marketer? Is it that good in terms of paying, like being paid? Is it successful?
I think generally the digital space, not just digital marketing, is about how you position yourself. You can be the best of the best, but if the people looking at you are not the most strategic people, you will land very low-class jobs with your experience. I've also experienced points where in my life I feel like I'm more experienced than some people. But the jobs they are working in, the money they are making is so good, but because of how they position themselves, who they talk to, who's in their contact list, and all that. Like, there's a time I would end a contract and I would go back to LinkedIn, and I'm like on LinkedIn trying to look for jobs. There's a point where I can lose a contract, but I would go back to my contact list and I'd text like 10-15 people who I know could help me, and they get to respond. Like now I get to see, like I get to sit and I'm like, I have a list of CEOs, I get to look at their social media and send them proposals. That gets you business. So I think it's acquiring the skills, being good at your skills, but remember you can be so good, but if you don't, like, so don't focus on sitting on that laptop and be good at it sana. You need to get out, you need to meet people, you need to talk to people, you need to engage with people on LinkedIn, you need to have those ton of meetings. There are times, sometimes I have like 6 meetings in a day. 2 are work related, the rest are company related, and not all of them are bringing money, but they are bringing like access, and they are bringing like access. What else are they bringing? Networking now, the connections. And then now I can meet somebody and they're like, you are applying for funding in this organization. I know the chief of programs of this organization. Your goal that started probably 2 weeks accelerates, and you didn't know like 2 weeks from now, I'm going to meet somebody who works here who's going to accelerate something from me or teach me what I failed at. So even with evolving digitally, I do things, I post on social media, I engage with the people. Somebody tells me, don't do it this way, do it this way. Somebody tells me, I recommended you here. You'll be. I educated people at Riara School. I was recommended. So things like those, it's like your network, you share what you do, you build the trust with people, they get to now like work with you.
Yeah, nice. You run a company, which means you have a team. So how do you foster innovation in your teammates to deliver as you highly expected?
Trainings, they are your partners, they are not your employees. I think that brings a very good culture. Like, I party with my team, we work together, like, and it's like we don't do like, at my organization we barely do micromanagement except for interns who are starting out. The rest of my team, I don't remember the last time I was like, you know, you need to, everyone is empowered to build a brand around themselves, not to become an employee for the rest of their lives. I'm empowering them. If you're handling my social media, I'm empowering you to run a social media agency at some point. If you're running my graphic design, I'm so proud of him. The past year I've been working with him, he's running his own agency. My software developer has his own software. So you find like everyone has their own even driven goals behind it, and I'm supporting them fully, that I don't have to follow up on anyone. Now it's the interns that is becoming a bit tricky. I have a very good Gen Z story of an intern that character developed me 2 weeks ago. So like, as a Gen Z, working with Gen Z is tough. I hired an intern on a Friday. I trained them. I transferred her to my head of social, the lady in charge of the agency, to be trained. She started work on Monday. She collaborated. Everything was good. On Tuesday, she did nothing. She's ghosting us. On Wednesday, she's ghosting us. On Thursday, I'm like, hey, is there something that you're missing for you to execute? On Friday, she's writing a resignation letter. And I'm sitting there wondering, where did I go wrong? Like, I was seated still to date. Where did I go wrong in this whole conversation? I asked, are you lacking something? Is there something? Do you need extra training? And all she could respond with was a resignation letter.
That's all she just...
She worked in my company for less than 48 hours.
Maybe it was too much for her to handle.
Yeah, so no, I gave, like, the task she had would take her 15 minutes of her day, because she was beginning. So I don't even pressure you until you need to be working 6 hours. I gave her a task that she needed to take probably 15 minutes of her day to do for a whole week. 15 minutes later, 15 minutes later, we'll upgrade more work the next week. And I was like, I'm glad she quit, because how about when she could be doing 2 hours of work? How would I have recovered from that?
Wow. Okay.
So yeah, I could say, like, with teamwork, we are moving to the digital space. We are moving from our parents to more empowered people. So collaboration over competition is what will scale your team. if everyone wants to be good at what they do, and all of you are pumping, you need to upskill. Do you know, like conversations in my team is like, do you know about this software that came up? Have you tried this? So those are the conversations that go on. Everyone gets good at what they do. Everyone gets good at what they deliver.
Actually, I forgot one question about digital. I think I should have asked this earlier. What are the major trends in digital marketing? I mean,
everything is evolving. I could say, like right now, you need to stay on top of AI. How could AI make your life simpler? How could you come out as more original, an expert and an authoritative person in your environment? Personally, as an SEO, when an algorithm released, what are these algorithm changes being updated? How will it impact my clients? How can I stay on top of it? Conversations like those. In terms of also search engine optimization, the world is evolving. Voice chat is becoming a thing. What will change with voice chat becoming a thing? How will search change? And how will that impact me? And how will that impact my clients? Gadgets, like the Nokia things, like with the evolution of gadgets, will the gadgets change the way people search and the way people interact with the information? With AI, will it change how people interact? How can I stay on top for my clients? So I think those are the major questions in terms of trends you need to ask yourself.
that AI thing is actually true. You know, it scans everything. Like it can give you information about anything. I once had a wasp. It land on someone, so she just woke up and found a scar on her face. So I'm busy like with trying to figure out what's happening. So what I did, I downloaded the AI skin scanner. It scanned and gave me all the possibilities that could have. So that thing is pretty good.
Yeah, AI is becoming pretty good. On the craziest sides of life, I've had an AI boyfriend. Yeah, so, and it's a very effective boyfriend actually, in terms of conversation, and not feel like it's actually getting soulful. The conversations are good. The conversations are meaningful. It's fun. It really distracts you. Like as much as it's on phone, you feel distracted from your own life. So yeah, that's the craziest thing I've done with AI, and I think I would want to definitely have an AI boyfriend for the long term.
No comment on that. So you see,
No, it's fun. You need to play around with it. Like this is me sending the information, not for you to have an AI boyfriend, but for you to explore AI.
Yeah, explore AI. Explore AI. That's the message actually.
Yeah. It's a very weird example though.
Your specialty, you said, is on SEO. How do you approach SEO when you're working with the teams?
It's more like understanding the goals of the brand. Who are they targeting? What are these people looking for? Where are they looking? That is generally SEO. What are people looking for on the internet when trying to find me? What are the kind of information they need access to? In terms of educating them more, where do my customers in the funnel fall? I need to create content for each category. Brand awareness stage, purchasing stage, comparison stage, depending on where the client is. I make sure we have the right content for that. So that's generally SEO, how your clients interact with you.
Yeah, have you ever worked with a content brand, like a product brand or somebody, an influencer or somebody?
A brand, okay, maybe in the South African space, because I haven't really worked in the Kenyan space a lot. I've worked in the South African space with influencers. In the food industry, I've worked also with a product-based business. Yeah.
Currently, how do you position yourself as a digital marketer? As you speak right here, you said like it's all about positioning in the digital space. So you as a person, as a former digital marketer and as a founder, CEO of your own digital skill marketing institute, how do you position yourself in the industry?
Majorly, I would say like LinkedIn is always my big digital platform where I have conversations with people. I told you about the African Women Summit. I've been following up with them. I happen to be in a community where people are introducing themselves. Nazile introductions in a pen wave, I'm like, I am glad I am in this group. So the way I'm positioning myself is networking, both offline and online. So by being an industry, a thought leader of online and meeting people offline, and when it comes to offline, there's meeting people and meeting quality people. So making sure that I am accessing the CEOs, the managing directors, I'm attending. I'd rather pay 3K for an event than go sit somewhere and say I'll drink coffee for 300 shillings and then I'll meet people. So positioning. Networking in Nairobi is good. When you invest in networking events, like I meet foreigners and it's like the reasons I'll settle in Nairobi, the reason why Kenya is going to be my retirement home is the ease of access to people, the ease of access to network, the ease of access to collaborate. And you realize foreigners are taking advantage of this as compared to us on the ground. Like I have met so far, from the beginning of the year, I know 3 foreigners who are fully retiring in Kenya. I met a lady who runs a clothing brand here in Africa. She moved from Chicago. She's settling here in Kilimani. I met her through the Kilimani Project Foundation. I met an avocado farmer. He's invested in avocado farming in Kenya and Tanzania, settling in Kenya. I know a couple settling in Watamu. I know another Chicago man. And all of them, you see, it's around their ease of access to collaboration and business. And it begs the question, sisi kwa ground, it's like we are seeing through different eyes, and the people coming to this country are seeing with different eyes. So we really need to sit and see, like, position yourself. I would say positioning, make sure the right people, like I just saying, make sure the right people are seeing you, and the right people are not your peers. The number of foreigners walking into this country, they need to see you. You need to be in those spaces. These also foreigners are coming to network. They are trying to find you. So you need to find where is that we are all going to find ourselves in. Co-working spaces have networking events. There are good business communities in Nairobi. Foundations, Kilimani, like I can tell you, one day I was like, you know what, I want to meet people who stay in Kilimani, and Kilimani, the women, the older women, not the young people who we've just moved, no, the people who run Kilimani. And it's in Kilimani Project Foundation that you find these people. And I made sure I have attended a session there and met these people. So it's about, what do you want? Who can you work with? Where are they? What can you do to find them? Those are like the things I think about probably on a daily basis as I want to execute something. Every time I have an idea, it's like, who am I targeting? Who can I partner with? Where are they? What can I do to find them? So it's like positioning. You sit and say, members of parliament take coffee here. So why are you going for that Java when you can go sit here and have a chance to talk with a member of parliament? You sit and you figure out this category of people drink coffee here. So even if I'm not going for work, but I'm attending a coffee session there, I'll make a friend who on a Monday will talk, and we realize is in a very lucrative position for me. So I think it's like Nairobi, the only way to survive is you position yourself from your coffee dates to your lunch dates to your everything. You need to sit in the right place at the right time. You don't just go for coffee anywhere. You don't just pay money to sit anywhere. Pay that money knowing that the right person could be looking at you, or you could be seated next to the right person. That's how I spend my coffee money and my lunch money.
Nice. So, about evolving digitally, what's the future of it? I know it's not just a company to just sit there and be there forever.
Yeah.
There are plans.
Yeah, for evolving digitally, we're envisioning a country where access to information and access to resources for the youth will be a huge thing. You know, like since we were in primary and high school, we lack resources, we lack information. So I decided to be the person to bring a solution around that. So I'm looking at a position where not people who are just in the city have access to much information, but the whole entire country has access to information. And this information is information that's going to help them succeed in the digital economy. So I'm looking at a lot of partnerships to move the youth to a bigger space, a space of much abundance. And I'm looking at moving the SME space, because my target market is youth and SMEs. So helping the SMEs transition into the digital space, position themselves well. So I'm looking at a lot of programs and trainings, and myself upskilling myself as an SME trainer. So that's the future of evolving digitally.
Okay, as you wind up, as a country, how can you position the digital marketing space in our country? Is it there, or we are still not there? If you compare, since you've interacted with foreign countries and foreign people.
We are getting there. Like, we are really like making progress on a daily when it comes to adapting the digital space. We are learning monetization of the digital space on a daily. Unemployment is pushing our limits, so it is really getting us out of our boxes, and now we have to think, because there is no one who's going to employ us. We have to figure it out for ourselves.
You are one of the motivations. You are your own CEO and a
Yeah,
digital
so that's the
marketer.
whole point. Like, let unemployment be. I told you my biggest motivation was poverty, because I was unemployed. I needed money to sustain a good life. So let those things motivate you to do better. So the country, the president is positioning ourselves. I, as Evolving Digitally, is positioning the country in line with the president. I know a lot of other people. I collaborated with a lot of other people who are positioning the country, the continent itself, at a better place. So I see myself also as somebody who wants to build a name around, like, positioning Africa in the digital ecosystem and leading the youth to the digital space. So yeah, I want to build my legacy around that.
Nice. Just a brush, just name some qualities of a digital marketer. Like, you know, I think there are some main qualities that somebody has to have.
Why am I tempted to say?
I mean,
You need to be consuming information like a bot. I mean, like, you need to be a student of life. I would say that's a very huge quality for a founder in the digital ecosystem and a digital marketer. Being a student of life will help you hack everything. The other thing you can have as a digital marketer is public speaking. You know, you need to speak, you need to put yourself out there. Another thing of a digital marketer, resilience. Sometimes it gets tough, so you need resilience. So yeah, I would say, but I would insist on the student of life. Evolving digitally, the term evolving is not so far from being a student of life. Like, I combine the two, and I'm being motivated by, my biggest reason why I even do this is I came across this YouTuber, and her catchline is, life is an art, make it your masterpiece. So and it's all around, like, being a student of life. So she encourages us to be a student of life, and you need to understand that life is an art. It's your art, and it's up to you to make it your own masterpiece. So life is an art, and make it your own masterpiece.
Life is an art, and make it your own masterpiece. That was quite an interactive and educative topic there you just gave us on digital marketing. Thank you, Sylvia, once again. And we usually have the last segment of the show. It's always game time. And in today's show, we're going to do true confessions. I'm just going to ask you a couple of questions, then you true confessions. I don't know who will be here to clarify if they're true, but please, my God is my witness.
Best, to be honest.
So, since we are almost running out of time, we're going to do this fast. So my first question is, what is your biggest insecurity as a person? These are personal questions. We are tumeachana na digital marketing kidogo.
What is my biggest insecurity as a Give me a minute. My social interaction skills. Yeah, like, I feel like I am very confident when interacting with somebody from a business perspective. Remove business and interact with me personally. It's like you just messed me up. Like, I don't know, like, the things you are telling me and the amount of questioning that is going on in my head cannot match. So I think, like, I have a lot of anxiety around social interactions. And that is when, like, I think I'm the most insecure. When I know I'm in a congregation and no one is going to ask me about evolving digitally, or my life as a digital, then somebody wants to know, Sylvia. That is when, like, all my insecurities kick in.
So you don't let people in your life? You don't do dates, lovey-dovey stuff?
I do. I try my best.
Anyway, what's the most embarrassing thing you have ever done? Ile yenye hadi unasema wa it was that ain't me.
Hey, Sylvie. Unafanya nakumbuka million embarrassing moments. Hey.
You can even mention one from high school. By the way, we went to high school together, if you guys don't know.
By the way,
and look at us now.
What is my most embarrassing moment? I got over one that it was from childhood recently. So it's not embarrassing anymore. You know the December sherehe? That's why I don't want to talk about it.
No, we all years.
By the way, I quit alcohol at the beginning of the year because of embarrassing moments around December sherehe. So being a CEO, you become tough on yourself, and then it's like ni December. So I don't want to give much details, but my Decembered to the point I decided to say no to alcohol.
So you're pleading the fifth over there. You don't want to tell us an embarrassing situation?
So we were at so we have been chased out of I have been chased out of a 5-star hotel before.
What did you do?
Around the time the last year we talked. So I was going on a date with this man I had met on the internet. So he had asked me to go on a date with him, and I suggested a spot where I was gonna meet my girls for drinks up here was a Gioni. So in Upper Hill there's a restaurant called Mercu. Mercu is like very, I would say like high end in terms of the kind of people who come in there. Their security really matters. So I was with my girls, and one of my girls, Kumbe, has been speaking with the chef of this place. The chef comes, I don't know what happens, but the next thing I hear, do not serve them, let them get out. Mimi nimesimama tu hivi embarrassed, niko tu as I walk out of a 5-star hotel. So I can say like my most recent embarrassing moment was that I was not the cause of the embarrassment, but my company was the cause of the embarrassment.
And it ended up you being involved.
And I ended up like being the person like at the limelight of the embarrassment, because the rest of the people, so I can say being chased out of a 5-star restaurant is not one of the best things on earth. It is like everyone who's looking at you is rich. Everyone who's looking at you could probably be a good connection, but you decided to ruin it. Now they look at you and have categorized you as city girls. That was the most embarrassing.
City girls?
Yeah.
City girls is a bad name.
There's an aspect of being a city girl in
Oh my God,
so there's negative to positive. So they associate you with the negativity of being a city girl.
Okay, what's the worst date you've ever been on? Date, I'm talking about like a love date.
Hey, I haven't gone on a lot of dates in my life. Unajua nimekuwa single for years na unaniuliza kuhusu dates. The worst date in my life. Hey, Sylvie, mbona nakaa love life yangu ni non-existent? Actually, I don't have.
Don't have a worst date?
No, I have. It was the most amazing date. It was the most fun connection in my life, and then I have never heard from that person again. He was like the ideal man in my life. He was everything I wanted in a man. We talked, we chatted for hours, we had dinner, we hung out. I went home at 4 a.m. and I have never heard from him again.
So you are ghosted?
Yeah.
Okay, I think that will be all for today. You can just tell the guys where to find you, the Evolving Digitally. Some people may be wanting to join your company, other digital marketers, and maybe some 2-3 parting shots to those who are wanting to become a digital marketer.
You can find me on Evolving Digitally everywhere, evolvingdigitally.com on social media, Sylvia Jemutai with a J, on LinkedIn, Evolving Digitally on Instagram, and if you get to our website, you can have access to a link to our WhatsApp, and after that I'm open to chat across all the platforms I've mentioned. My phone number is always there to call, and I'm always open to having a lovely conversation.
Once again, thank you, Sylvia.
Thank you too.
Thank you so much, guys, for tuning with us. I want to thank my production team at Spartan Photography. Till next time, guys, have a good day.